Hello, this is Solomon Davis, Right Side Trader. Today is June 17th, 2023, and this is my weekly market review of the Dow 30 on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only because we all know trading is risky. Please get it training. Please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is actually suitable for you. All right, let's jump right over to the charts on this. On the Dow, I'm seeing on this quarterly chart, people have asked some questions. What am I looking at? I'm looking at the pivot points. I have yearly pivots on the quarterly chart, so I'm looking at the Dow staying above pivot, and maybe by the end of the year, maybe the way the Dow has been moving so slowly, that's why I say it like that, it might get up here to an R1 level. Again, I'm targeting above 360. I doubt if it actually gets up that high, but that's a number that I'm actually using. I'm looking at I'm on a different in a different account. That's why you don't see that 360 on here. That 360 is a number though for me that I do just that 360 is a number for me. Just leave it at that. But as we can see, the Dow is still just hanging out here going sideways. The Dow is looking a lot like what the Russell looked like back this year right here and all, where it may just end up going sideways for the rest of the year. Don't know. But let's go ahead and zoom on in here and let you see what I see. Let me get some of this other stuff out of the way and let's wrap this on up. Here on the Dow, as we can see, I'm seeing, you can see, I hope you can see a little bit better. The Dow is above this pivot. I expect it to stay above this pivot, and I really don't expect it to break this high, anytime soon. I got a target of 360. I think it can come up here, but it's going to have a hard time, and it hasn't been able to break this candle yet in this supply, So the Dow has been having a hard time going higher. It's just kind of going sideways, in my opinion. But it's been some good trades on the lower time frames on the Dow. So let's zoom on down there and start taking a quick look at some of that stuff and see what's going on there. Dow monthly. Zoom on in here, and you can see what I'm talking about here this year. See, the Dow has been in one of these ones that's been up, down, and this really was really down, then back up, back into this range. Then it continued up, but then back down, then back up. And now is it getting ready to go back down? We'll have to kind of like wait and see. But this is what I see on the monthly chart. On the monthly chart, it's the chart where you had that 10 moving average. I have quarterly pivots here. And, oh man, what did I just do? Let me move that back out of the way. As we can see on these quarterly pivots, the Dow has been staying below this quarter pivot, and stand above. It did close, 1 month here below, the pivot, but in general, it's staying above the pivot, and in this little tight range here on these quarterly pivots. And in this little tight range above the supply right here where it sold off at the end of the year and stand, above some of these bottoms, you can say, But it's in a sideways market. You're not making any money and you're probably not losing any money, if you're just long, the Dow, or if you're trying to short the Dow, it's still nothing has really worked in either direction unless you plan it on a smaller time frame. And let's go ahead and take a look at that on the weekly time frame here. Oh, I am going back and forth right here. Now on the weekly time frame, you start seeing a little bit more. Let's just go from the beginning of the year. This is the beginning. You can see that you have been getting some movement. It's not that much. That's 32 to 43. That's only $10. When it came all the way down here to this bottom, it came down to maybe 15, 14, 15, all the way up to 46. That's $30 though, but it's not a lot compared to what other things are actually doing out there if you're actually trading this product. And this is one of the products I don't trade. Just admit it. I'm not trying to trade any option strategies around this. I'm not trying to trade this directional. I'm not doing anything with the Dow. But it seems like a safe place to maybe have your money. Don't take that. That's no trading. That's no financial advice there. But what's just what I'm seeing, it's not really going anywhere. It hasn't gone down real far. It hasn't gone up real far. Are we seeing a pattern upside down head and shoulders? If you would see a little bit more room here, let me see if I can get you that little bit more room. It's kind of like, let's go back from here, and you can see where you got a shoulder, a head, another shoulder. And now if that's actually a really pretty good pattern, if we on this weekly chart that we are seeing, and on the weekly chart, just let you know what pivots I have here. I have monthly pivots. This thing can do, they say it likes going, let's just use 15, that's a nice number. And let's just say 45. 45 is kind of really too high. Let's say 40. So 15 and 40, what's that? 35, that's 25. So we're at that 25. So it would go 25 points higher from this point right here. So 25 onto that, that'll get me, again, I keep saying that 360. That 25 will get me to 365. But let's go ahead and look down here at this daily and see what's actually happening there. Keep doing that. Load daily. Load. Well, I'm on the wrong thing here. Daily, right here. And daily, again, let's go from the beginning of the year. You can see these patterns and all that's happening in the market. And the thing that I want to see, you saw it on the weekly, you can see it here on the daily. But let's just look here. This is that last little leg trying to push up where we were looking for it to go higher and all. But look what's happening. Let me escape and zoom in just a little bit here. These are weekly pivots. Somebody wants to know about what pivots I'm actually using. Those are weekly pivots on a daily chart and all. And what you see, it went up pretty good, last week. It gave you a nice pullback to pivot, above pivot, stay above pivot, one of my basic rules. Here's a 10 moving average. Let's let you see that. This is what I like using on this particular chart. Once it gets above the 10, I expect it to stay above the 10. And as long as it doesn't touch the 10 or close below the 10, I stay long. Again, this is the point where I would actually sell a call. And I sold calls on Thursday, Friday when it did make this high. Do not expect it to go above this R2 level. And it did, and it actually came back down below the way I would expect it to do. Check it out for yourself, because very seldom you see the market go above an R3 level, which is right here, and it just about did there that particular week. But that's what I see here. We get in what I want to also see here on this daily picture. We are getting a bearish looking pattern, a bearish piercing type pattern at a top. So again, we could get a little bit of a pullback. And if it pulls back the way the Dow is moving, I wouldn't expect no more than about a 10-point pullback at the most. It may come all the way down here and maybe try to close this gap and get close to this bottom. But if it does that, we'll be looking at that double bottom and just try to see if that bottom, once it does get down here, it is a higher bottom than the previous bottom, and then we can be expecting this thing maybe finally getting back to a point where it might go up to that 360 level. But that's all I really want to share. That's what I see here on the Dow. Hope you guys are having a great week. If you like the information that you've been seeing, kind of like, share, and subscribe. And talk to you next weekend. Have a good one. Bye.